Hey, happy Wins Wednesday. Today I have a tip to share, and this is something that is used in marketing in a lot of other industries, but it's really not used all that much in aviation. And I think that maybe it should be. A lot of times people will come to us with a campaign that's underperforming. And in some cases, they say, we're getting some responses when we pick up the phone and call people. They're saying this sounds like a good idea and it sounds like a great deal, and we'd like to do this sometime, but it's just not urgent for us. Or I've got a million things to do. I'm super busy. I would love to schedule some time with you to talk about this more, but let's do this next month, next year, tomorrow, right? Okay. So what's happening is that people in the industry are super busy, just like you are, and they have to prioritize their time. So you have to help them understand what's urgent and how much time they have, and how to manage their time better. And you can do that with a countdown. So what a countdown is it's a gimmick, if you want to call it that. It's a device, a trick, a technique, whatever term you want to use for this, that tells people how much time they have left on an offer or on a deal or on a situation or something like that. So if you ever have a problem with an offer not being appealing enough, then what we always do is we go back to the basics, right? The four U's of copywriting. So is this offer unique? Is it useful? Is it ultra specific? And is it urgent? So what a countdown does is it makes it urgent by stressing, here's how much time you actually have to get this done for some reason that makes sense to your prospect, right? Okay, so here's a couple of ways of using them. One is if you have a limited number of products in stock. So let's say you have some really fantastic uh, headsets for pilots, and you only have three of them left in stock before you go to the new model or before the price goes up, or whatever the situation is. So if you've got a limited number of products, that is a useful or an actual way of creating urgency, so people realize, oh, if I want one of these, I better buy one now. Having a limited number of products in stock, you can put a ticker on your website, especially if you're doing e-commerce, that will count down your inventory and tell people how many of them are left in stock. So that's one example of a countdown. Another one is the amount of time left until an event starts. So a lot of times these super busy executives you'll schedule a meeting with them, or they'll register for a webinar or something along those lines, and then they won't show up. And the reason is because either they miscalculated the time in their time zone, which happens all the time, or they just didn't realize how much time they had before that started. So if you put a countdown either on the landing page or in an email reminder that you send them, that will increase the number of people who actually make it to your meeting or your webinar or whatever. So those are really, really helpful in those cases. We use those for classes, and they actually help a lot in getting people to class on time. So that's a good thing. Another way to use these is to count down until an event, like the end of the year. X number of business days till New Year's. I actually have an example of this from Gene Clow. He noted that it takes a certain number of business days to execute a aircraft transaction. So he wanted to let people know, if you want to finish this transaction before the end of the year, we really need to get started right away. So a lot of times people don't realize how long something takes. So if you use a countdown, that really helps them to prioritize and set up their time properly. Another thing that you could do is talk about the time left to meet a legal or a regulatory deadline. So, let's say you have an app or a website that depends on Flash, and Flash is going away. So you can put in a counter or a countdown that counts down to the time when Flash is no longer supported. So it may not be urgent to do something about your website today, but it sure is becoming urgent pretty quickly. If you don't have plans for upgrading, now's the time, right? Okay. So, how do you use countdowns? How and where do you use them? You can use them on a product landing page. I like using WordPress plugins for this. There's lots of really good WordPress plugins that will do a countdown, and a lot of people have a WordPress website, or if you have one of the site builders, there's usually a countdown feature that you can add in to your web page. Just check the help section and see if there's one for what you use, and choose one that has good ratings and doesn't hang up and cause problems, right? The second way is in an email. There is a service that I use, and we're not affiliated with them or anything like that, but it's called motionmailapp.com. And it lets you set up timers, and you can configure them in different ways, make them look different, use your colors and your branding and other things like that to set up a counter that shows up in an email and will be based on the recipient's local time. So if I send an email to someone in Florida and an email to someone in California, it's going to show a countdown showing that we still have an hour left before our meeting starts, even though they're in different time zones. So, that's really helpful in getting people where they need to go on time. And the other thing that I just found out about is you can use a sticker on an Instagram story. There is a countdown sticker that lets you put in the date and time. So if you have something that is ending at a certain day or time, you can set up the sticker, and Instagram will even allow users to set up reminders as that time approaches. So those are three really good ways to use countdowns in your marketing and to increase that urgency and to help your busy prospects prioritize their time properly and buy your products and services, right? That's what it's all about. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.